One more time.
Okay guys, so I think that I have been through every single stage that every angsty teen environmentalist goes through. So we all know the ones. We cry about the sea turtles, we skip a couple showers, we get into some softcore arguments with people on Facebook about climate change. And finally, we amount to feeling better about ourselves when we bring our reusable bag to Kroger. We've all been there, I have definitely been there. And it's pretty funny because one question that I always get is if you're so into sustainability and you care so much about the environment, then why are you a business major? Well, over time, I began to realize that it was businesses and large corporations that were impacting the environment the most and contributing the most to long-term and environmental degradation. So I thought if I really wanted to make a difference and insert myself in the sustainability realm, I needed to start with business because they are the entities that contribute the most to pollution. It's kind of like keep your friends close, but your enemies closer. So, as a business major, we learned a lot about the triple bottom line, or as we like to call it, the 3 Ps: people, profit, and the planet. So the bottom line was once just profit. Profit is seen as the most important thing in business, and without it, it is said that there's no purpose. But the triple bottom line introduces 2 other very crucial factors: people and the planet. So people being us, the stakeholders, so the community that businesses do their action in, and humankind. And the planet being the environment, so our ecosystems, our beautiful landscapes, and our cities. If you want to think about the triple bottom line, you can imagine it as a Venn diagram with 3 overlapping circles that meet right in the middle. That equilibrium in the middle represents the idea of long-term sustainability in ecological health, community prosperity, and of course, profit. But as I began to dive deeper into my education within business and sustainability, I realized that there was actually a pretty big disconnect here. Why was people, profit, and the planet being viewed as 3 separate entities that sometimes overlap, sometimes affect each other, and sometimes meet in the middle? I realized that we needed to make a change, and in the words of Albert Einstein, we cannot solve our problems with the thinking we used when we created them. So that's why I think that it's time to redefine the triple bottom line. Starting with the environment as our overarching source. Our society exists within our environment, and the economy is driven and dependent on both. Without a healthy economy, without a healthy environment, we cannot have the resources needed to supply a healthy economy and a healthy community. It's time we take a holistic approach to business and understand the need to invest in our greatest and most profitable asset, our planet. We are seeing examples every day of how an unhealthy planet can contribute to long-term community and environmental degradation. The coal ash and pig factory waste in North Carolina that is entering the watersheds after the hit of Hurricane Florence has affected the local agricultural community, the people that feed off it, and the community health in general. And areas like these are more vulnerable than others, my home being one of them. So my family is from a town called Coimbatore, and Coimbatore is located in the small southern state in India called Tamil Nadu. About 30 kilometers outside of the capital of Tamil Nadu is another small town called Kanchipuram. Kanchipuram happens to be the home to the Intimate Fashions Factory industry. The Intimate Fashions Factory. And the Intimate Fashions Factory is one of the biggest contributors to the Victoria's Secret fashion line. This factory has had very harsh effects on the community in Kanchipuram, from carbon dioxide and sulfur in the air to literal dyes that are visible to the eye in the waterways. This has affected people who make their livelihood off of resources found there, and this has affected people who simply breathe that air, need that water, and own property there, which is slowly devaluing because of the pollution. This has affected my community, and factories like this, in a lot of ways, provide the bare minimum in terms of livable wage and proper regulations and conditions in their facilities. This has had a pretty detrimental effect on my hometown, where my grandmother once resided, and most of my close family still does. And it's pretty disheartening to go back to India and see how the pollution is accumulated and the beauty is slowly slipping away. And it's even more disheartening to go back and see the streams I once played in and the roads I once walked on with my grandfather and with my cousins, now riddled with pollution. But how do you tell an economy to stop prospering? How do you see an opportunity for growth and turn it down? Well, in business, you simply don't. And that's why we're seeing the trend of economies growing exponentially, but people and the planet being left behind. So we can no longer take a moral approach to sustainability. I thought by sharing my story with other people that this would really get people behind sustainability, but I soon began to realize that people, like businesses, are motivated by incentive. So I started thinking, how can I make sustainability an integral part of people's daily lives without being that girl who gives you the annoying side eye every time you use a plastic straw? And I realized I had to take a different approach. I really did. And that approach came through business. So a lot of companies are starting to prioritize the idea of sustainability. We are seeing companies mitigate waste at the manufacturing stream itself through initiatives like corporate social responsibility. So corporate social responsibility is a great idea. It's literally my favorite. And it's where a company operates in a way that enhances society and the environment instead of negatively contributing to it. So we are seeing this with Starbucks, who recently got rid of or are getting rid of their plastic straws for their nitro lids. And this is a really important idea, and companies are beginning to see the importance of investing in sustainability as a long-term asset. Companies like Patagonia, one of my favorites, are using recycled materials in their fleece and taking it a step further and investing in B Corporation certification. So B Corporation certification is a patent that a company can get that certifies that they are making active and consistent efforts to contribute to a sustainable future. This is an incredible idea, and a lot of governments are also taking place in the idea of thinking about sustainability as something that's very important. Because without sustainability, we will not have the resources needed at the quality and the abundance needed to sustain our future. So governments are investing in this too. The outdoor economy in Georgia is a $27.3 billion industry. This is amazing, and with initiatives like the Atlanta Beltline and the Athens Greenway, we're seeing the need for green spaces because people are wanting to get back into nature because sustainability can only benefit us at the end of the day. And currently, there are more people employed by the outdoor economic industry in Georgia than there are lawyers in the United States. Isn't that crazy? So as you can see, sustainability is valuable in more ways than one. It benefits our society, it benefits our economy, and it benefits our environment. And by redefining the triple bottom line from three overlapping circles to an all-encompassing, all-inclusive sphere, we are driving ourselves into the future. Now is the time to change, to respond to challenge. Now is the time. And we are seeing this all over. And as my idol once said, Gracie Anderson, there is no more strategic issue for a company than its ultimate purpose. And for those who think businesses exist to make a profit, I suggest they think again. Because businesses make a profit to exist. But surely they must exist for some higher, nobler purpose than that. And I believe that that higher, nobler purpose is sustainability.